Guys, we are back. We just finished the interior and most of the glass and got all the trim and the tires and the wheels all dialed in. So the only thing that's left is the paint. And again, just kind of touch up on glass. But we actually have some water spots on the glass here. And I don't know if you guys have ever used this product. I see a lot of heavy advertising for it. But this stuff from Sud Factory called Spotless Glass Water Spot Remover. There's a lot of videos on this stuff that you see, and they're just, using a couple of drops on really bad heavy water spots on the glass and the paint. I've used it. I gotta say, it's pretty good. And it seems like a safer way of removing water spots. The gel stuff, like the 3D gel stuff, is so strong and it evaporates so fast. This stuff is almost like, it's more like a polish. It feels pretty gritty, like it has some sort of abrasives in it. It's pretty gritty, but you don't like work it in like a polish. You just apply it gently and it dissolves and eats away the water spots. It's pretty good. I actually want to try it on the glass here because it's pretty bad. And we see this vehicle so regularly that it'll be kind of a good indicator as to what's causing some of the water spots as well. Because I know that this vehicle, it's cleaned often, but sometimes it's just sprayed down and like rinsed off, and that will cause water spots, unfortunately. So I just noticed some spots here in the wheels. Once we pull it in, and you turn the wheels and stuff and the tires, you'll notice spots that you missed. It happens. I'll go through and double check some of the stuff and make sure that wheels are looking good. But we're going to be using the Jimbo's Tough as Shell, not Hard as Shell. This is the older label. I think it's Tough as Shell now. But using a nice fluffy microfiber. The paint is clean, it's smooth, and it still has a little bit of this stuff hanging on from like 3-4 months ago when we applied it. It's still hanging on. But I'm just going to apply another application of it, another layer of it. And I keep doing that with these vehicles. This is the way that I maintain them and keep them looking nice and easier to clean, and the customer loves it. I think that's why some people will rinse off their vehicles, because it is easier to clean, but and that can sometimes clean them off really quickly, but it adds its own layer of problems because now you are leaving water spots. If your water is not treated, then you end up with some problems. And those water spots may not show up right away, but they will build up over time the more that you do it, the more that you just rinse your vehicle. So that's not a good option. It's better to leave your vehicle dirty than to just rinse it. That's what we have learned. Ooh, this stuff is so slick. I love it. Nice. Oh, I already applied some to this door already. Whoopsie. That's okay. I'll go through and just add more. Less is more too. I can see it going on, so I'm not saturating the towel with it necessarily, but I can see it going on to, say, like the gloss black pillars here. Even after applying it to the entire door, there's always still a little bit of residual on the towel. And if you over apply spray sealants like this, they do tend to streak a little bit. So that's usually just over application. That's really what it is. Not necessarily the fault of the product. Yeah, especially if you're mobile and you're working out in sun and heat, then yeah, things will definitely streak on you because they flash away so fast. You end up using more because you want to see it on the paint, but it's just flashing really quickly. That's all it's doing. So, sometimes we just tend to apply more, so that way we see it on the paint, and then we have a hard time wiping it all off because there's just way too much on there. Nice. Cool. That's looking good. And this can go on glass too. Not necessarily the windshield. I keep ceramic sealants off the windshield generally, but the rest of the glass is fine. But the windshield is different. It's a tempered glass. It reacts differently to sealants, and you have the windshield wiper abrasion, and with the windshield wipers too, they will wipe the product and kind of smear the product. It might look clear at first, and then you start using your wipers, and there'll be like a buildup where the wipers stop on the glass, and sometimes smearing. And I've done that before, and I'm like, oh, I'm not using that sealant again. That was not good. It's just not good on the windshield. That's all. But any sealants like this will be great for the rest of the glass. They will last sometimes years on the side because you're not cleaning your glass too aggressively like you do with the paint. And it's a different substrate. So yes, sealants tend to last longer on the side glass, I've noticed. Yeah, and if you put a ceramic coating, like a regular ceramic coating or a glass coating on the side glass, yeah, you'll get like quadruple the durability. It'll last forever on the side glass. It's interesting. It's because it's white paint, I'm not seeing a ton of water spots on the paint itself. It's just the side glass. It could be sprinklers, things like that. That feels good. We might have my parents walking in here in a moment. So maybe what I'll do is I will switch the camera all the way over here. That way I'm not interrupting when they walk in. Here we go. And I'm just going to check the comments, just see if anyone's using. Do you find that Jimbo's clogs up the towels? No, I don't. I actually don't really have problems with sealants clogging up the towels. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with that. I haven't really noticed. I don't pay attention to it because it just nothing happens to the towels. I'll wash them. I use the rags to riches, and they always come out great. Like I don't really see them clogging up or causing any issues or anything like that. So yeah, it could just be try different towel cleaners. It might just be that. Or if you apply a sealant and you're finding that it is clogging up your towels somehow, I guess, like maybe it doesn't allow them to dry properly, clean them right away. Like once you use it, soak it in a bucket or your sink with an APC right away. That way it breaks down and none of the sealants get a chance to cure. Because that could be a problem. But honestly, I don't really have that problem. I don't know. I never really talk about it because I never faced that problem. Even with our drying towels, it's actually just what happens over time with microfiber towels is they break down anyway. It's plastic. The fibers will get worn down on a microscopic level and they will stop absorbing water at first. But once you get them soaked, like dampened, then at first, you might put a drying towel down and it doesn't dry anymore. And you're like, oh, that towel is clogged or dead. No, not necessarily. It could just be the age of the towel. Once it's washed a few times, it does that. So just either spray it with water, mist it with water, or get it wet, get it saturated, wring it out, and get the towel uniformly wet or dampened. And then you'll notice that it dries better. So it's just a damp towel will dry better. An old damp towel, I should say. Fresh microfibers, it's different. They're fresh. They haven't been used, so it's different. But once they start to break in and get used, they will lose their absorbency over time, no matter what. Use Tide to clean your towels. Oh, cool. Nice. Does the sealant remind you of the graphene flex wax? The flex wax seems to, it smears a lot more for me. It's a different chemistry anyway, but no, I don't really see that. It doesn't really feel like flex wax at all. This actually feels more like Pan's new sealant. It's on that level for me. The only thing is I don't think this sealant, Jimbo's, can be applied wet. I don't think so because it doesn't say in the directions, but maybe, off-brand use, maybe it could be. I don't know, but I don't think he formulated it that way. I think it's supposed to be a dry application. I mean, you get better durability anyway, so maybe you could use it after you have your initial application. Maybe you could use it as like a spray and rinse, or use it as a drying aid type of application. I don't know. I'll have to try it. I think I tried it once like that, and it seemed okay. I mean, you're not going to have really adverse effects. It's just not going to be as durable if you just apply it that way initially. It really should be dry applied, because you're getting the full usage of the chemistry on the paint. But maybe using it as a maintenance could work that way. Ah, the chrome is getting pitted with bugs and chips. That stinks. Oh, wow. Yeah. Man, even though I cleaned it with the water spot remover and chemical and everything, there's still just some bugs that really get stuck onto areas, and you don't see it until everything is dry. So, all right, now that looks good. Yeah, okay. Now we're looking good. Always got to double check those areas. Okay. Actually, with the lights, I can actually see just a little bit. I can see the application going on, and I can see if there's any smears or streaks. Like right there. I probably just applied too much. I think I already applied it to this door, and I applied too much, and it's starting to smear just a little bit. But that smearing will also go away. It'll eventually flash away. Still have to do the roof and the hood and the front bumper. There's lots of intricate stuff in that front bumper that I'll spend some time on and make sure that it's good. Oh, sorry, Chester. This is the Sealant. Jimbo's toughest. It's toughest shell now. Hardest shell was his first label. He sent this to me when he first came out with the product. So it's tough as shell, I think, now. How's it going, Stilly? Cool. Sorry if I miss anything. You know, I'll go back and check the messages every once in a while, but I apologize if I do miss any of your questions or comments. Wifey went to go get groceries. So once she gets here, I gotta sign off. Nope, that's a chip. I love detailing this customer's vehicles. Even though they're pretty dirty when they come in, it's very satisfying to clean them. They always come out looking nice. I mean, it's mostly because they are newer vehicles, and they just, even though they're daily driven and they're, you know, heavily used, because they're newer, they do just clean up easier. Older vehicles will just have a lot of wear and tear, and sometimes things just don't clean up very well because a lot of it is just old and worn. Nice. All right. I'll have to hit that chrome also. This truck is so huge, it takes up so much space. Let me show you what I mean. This is how much space I have here. Like I can squeeze through there, you know. And then this is how much space I have in the front. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I've had bigger trucks in here too. Ones that go like almost all the way up to this counter. and leave me like a foot, maybe, or maybe 2 feet. You know, this is like 3 feet here, but I've had them come up to like, you know, here, and I barely have any space to move, and barely any space to move in the back. They're like gigantic lifted trucks with 8-foot beds and just huge monsters. And I mean, they fit, but you really gotta sneak around, you know, to get everything on these trucks. And then the sides are crazy because the tires and the wheels go all the way up to here, you know, and it takes up a lot of space. So it's crazy. All right, I need to get all the way up in the middle of the hood. It's doable. There we go. There's some dents up here. That's weird. Almost looks like hail. I know this customer will drive pretty long distances sometimes for work, so who knows where the vehicle ends up. Nice. That's looking good. All right, now I got to do the top of the vehicle, and because this truck is so tall, the ladder just doesn't work. So I usually have to stand on the sill here, which I hate doing, but if I put a towel there, it then becomes a slip hazard. So I know from walking around in here, my shoes are nice and dry now, so I'm not worried about that. But it's the only way I can get up on giant trucks like this. And I'm like, you know, I'm 6'2", and I have a long reach, but still, these trucks are just humongous. That's why the the roofs of these types of trucks do not get a lot of attention. And I'm glad that there's a huge sunroof up here because it's mostly glass, not paint. So yeah, and if you got water spots on glass up here, I'm not too concerned about it because I can just use something aggressive to get them out. Oh, good. Doesn't even leave a mark or anything. Cool. And I am putting this on the sunroof as well. So the whole roof here is going to get sealed. Glass and paint, back glass, all of this. I'll reach to get the center of that back glass as well. Even though it's cold out and it's technically winter here, we still have the trees putting off like little tiny drops of sap. We noticed it on our vehicles the other day. It has all these tiny, it looks like little raindrops, like tiny little raindrops everywhere, but when it gets on the windshield and you try to use your windshield wipers, everything smears. So it's sap. That's what it is. Just makes a big mess. But you don't have to use anything specific for that type of sap because it's just a very light application of like a misting sap that the trees give off. And you can easily wash it. So it's not like you need to use anything special for that. It just washes right away. I remember doing that and I'm like, oh no, how am I gonna get the sap off? Let's just wash it and see what happens. And the wash just took everything off. So it's not a big deal, but it's annoying when it gets on your windshield and you put the windshield wipers on because you're like, oh, it's a little bit of rain. Nope, smeary sap. And then it bugs you the entire time. So you can get home and either just clean your windshield or give your car a bath. Yeah, I see a little bit of it up here. You hit it and it smears. Oh, I hate that. The interior of this came out perfect. There wasn't anything too gross in the perforations. They all cleaned up really nice. And for mats, to restore them, we need to get some more of this stuff because we love it. Gummy Fix from Koch Chemie. It's almost gone. Love that stuff. Spray it on, and then we use, where'd it go? Aha. We use this thing. So we don't use this to clean like wheels and tires. I don't like it in the bucket because it'll get destroyed because it's wood. But it's from the Rag Company. We use this for sometimes tire dressing application because the bristles are perfect for it, but usually for mats. So I will spray the Gummy Fix and use this to apply onto the mats. Gets into all those little nooks and crannies really easily, and because it's a huge brush, it gets them really, really, gets the whole thing very quick, which is nice. Very efficient way of doing it. But that can be used for dressing application, tire dressing application, or whatever. Yeah, this is looking nice. Okay. Now, I'll have to hit those wheels in a moment. Let's go and work on the front bumper because it's the most tedious and annoying part of the vehicle to dial in because it's still wet. And even though we use the blower to try to dry it as much as possible, it is still just a chore to clean all of this. So let's take our time and clean it. It doesn't need to be cleaned, it's just touch up. It's not dirty by any means, but it is just something that you gotta make sure to clean and make it look decent. Like it's just, into the corners and stuff that you really can't see. I got a little light here. I actually got a bunch of stuff from Temu that I'm currently making a video, and there's some stuff that I'll probably get to use next week because this week we didn't have any jobs with dog hair or like really bad particles and carpets because I got some new drill brushes, I got dog hair removal tools, a few of those things, and I didn't have any vehicles this week to show that. So hopefully next week I'll be able to finish up that video. Let's see. I placed it down. Ah, here it is. But there were a few things like some earbuds that I got from Temu that I really like with a little touch screen. These are really nice. I'm impressed with those. I mean, I'm not a sound guru, but they sound good to me, so I'm not too picky. The bass and everything, the clarity, it just sounds good. And I use those for earbuds when polishing and drown out the noise of the polisher, and I can listen to my music. I usually like earbuds over the headphones just because of moving your head, and the headphones will tend to kind of fall off sometimes. But this little light from Temu I got, pretty decent. It has this style light, but it also has the top one, like this. And it has two levels. It's really decent. Little magnetic tip, magnetic end here as well. It doesn't have it on the back, but you can do this. But the size of it is impressive. It has the little hook here, and it charges via USB-C. Not bad for a cheap little light. But there's some things I got in the Temu package that, they give me like $200 credit to spend on whatever I want. I choose what I want to spend it on, and I make the video on it. And then you also get like $100 like credit or something to spend on Temu as well. So there'll be like a discount code when that video comes out in the description that you can actually spend like $100 and it's like a credit, which is pretty cool, and buy whatever you want. But there's some good stuff on there. There's some garbage, but you can filter out some stuff and get some good things. But I did get like a paint depth gauge and a few other things, and I'll show you in the video some of the pros and cons of buying stuff like that. And what to look out for as well. And you can always return things if they don't work. Just little bugs here and there that just don't show up unless you put the light to it. There we go. Nice. And the chrome like goes under here. There's like a weird little angle here that you can't see until you put the light to it and really look under here. And there's still water here too, so it's kind of annoying. It's just always constantly wiping and smearing and wiping and smearing. I should have just taken a little blower to it, which, do I have that other little blower here? Aha, I do. I got this little guy from Temu also. I thought it was going to be kind of gimmicky, but it's actually pretty powerful. Oh, I hit it. I mean, you're not going to dry your entire car like that, but this worked really well for this little application of drying the grill or tires or something like that. Something really quick. And you can use it on the interior also. Not bad. Not a bad little tool. And it's so cheap. I don't mind buying little things like that. It's kind of fun. But I know, some people, it's not for them. They don't want to buy cheap little tools like that. They'll buy, things that'll last longer, obviously, and spend a little bit more money on it. It's totally fine. You do you. I just tell people, don't criticize others for buying stuff that they want to buy. Anyone can buy whatever they want and make it work. That's looking good. All right, I'll have to hit the bumper as well. All right. And we're looking good. Cool. All right, guys. So I'm going to sign off. Wifey got home with groceries, so I got to bring some groceries up, have some lunch, and call it a day. So hope everyone had a good week. Thank you guys for joining us. I know, those are Batman gadgets. Totally. I know. They're not always needed or anything like that. They're just kind of fun to have sometimes. But I know, this truck is gigantic, right? Look at this thing. It's huge. So just going down some of the comments, see if I missed anything. Oh, Super Nate. What are your go-to chemicals? Yeah, so I mean, now because we use so many, I don't have any go-to really. We just use all sorts of stuff. However, back in the day when we were mobile and not on YouTube, it was some Chemical Guys stuff. Very specific, like we use their citrus soap a lot and their dressings and a few of their waxes. That was about it. And the Meguiar's detailer line was great. So we used a lot of Meguiar's detailer line, a lot of 3D products because I'd get them in gallons. So like the citrus degreasers from 3D Speed, those were go-tos. As far as polishes, I just used to use the Meguiar's M line, the M105 and M205, the compound polish back in the day. That's what we used. So yeah, there were quite a few good, solid lineup of products that we would use, or at least the brands, the detailer line. We would use their shampoos from the detailer line, their dressings as well, their glass cleaner, their wheel brightener. Like there was some good products that we just always bought and always used because they were affordable. They just worked. They were just really good products. But now it's just kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. We use all sorts of things. Yeah, the Meguiar's APC, the citrus one and the green one we used to use all the time. So good, solid products. I would tell people, hey, start with either Meguiar's detail line or the 3D line because of their affordability and good, consistent products. And you can get them in gallon form. They're all dilutable. So yeah, I would start with those. All right, cool guys. Thank you for joining us. We will see you later.